An executive mindset, right? There we go. Hello, people. Executive mindset, friends and family members. No, just kidding. It is so much fun to be here and saying hello and saying good morning from sunny Arizona and from the chilliness of Wisconsin.
It is chilly today.
Yeah. So, how do you get out of your funk is our topic. And, being in a funk comes in different ways, different colors and flavors and intensities. And today we're going to talk about the lower model of the world and the upper model of the world. And that's just a concept. It's a concept. You can say positive or you can say negative. But it's a mindset. It's a way of thinking. It's either a growth process or a, stuck process, or you're oscillating.
Or going backwards.
Going backwards. We don't want that, right? Unless you're rewinding an old memory. So Tammy, when you hear that concept of the lower and upper model of the world, what comes up for you when you think of the lower model?
It's so interesting because I had a lot of anxiety and I was anxious and I was worried a lot. And I thought it was normal to just think it's, when this is gone out of my life, I won't be worried anymore. When they stop doing this behavior, then I won't be anxious anymore. When I was just creating these situations that were taking away my power from what I was doing inside, right? I'm feeling anxious and that's inside of me. And I'm feeling worried and that's inside of me. And I didn't recognize that until somebody asked me, like, tell me how to be anxious like you. Like, how do you do it? And I was like, oh, it's inside me. And so it was so easy to blame and expect and hope and pray that somebody else changes so that I could feel better.
Exactly. So it's our environment. Mm-hmm. It's our environment. It's our default of surviving. That's just because that's how we were taught. No one ever taught us to like, hey, no one's making you mad. Your little brother, your little sister's not making you mad. Your husband's not making you mad. Your grandmother's not making you mad, right? Because that's how I feel like that's how what we learned. I even remember seeing parents that if the child fell or hurt himself or banged himself, that they would hit the couch or the corner of the table and blame the corner of the table. Like, you're bad, you hurt my grandson. And it's like, what? It is so foreign today to see that happening. Now, I don't know if that happens in your culture.
It's a defrac though, for the little kid to be like, oh, I'm not hurt. Yeah. But also it does build that blame mentality. And also another thing that happened a lot for me was, we're taught to think about other people's feelings and how we create problems inside of them. Like, you're going to make me mad if you do this, or if you do that, they'll feel bad, or if this. And so then all of a sudden I'm looking out. It's a pleasing mindset, right? I'm looking out to see like, oh, what am I allowed to do so that they don't get mad and so that they don't think bad of me and so that they don't feel hurt? And how can I act so I'm not influencing and creating feelings for them that they don't want?
I think that's not fair. I think
not
that's not
kids,
right. Not
right?
to kids,
like
not to adults. No, not even to adults. I mean, how many marriages, how many relationships that we have that dictate how we are feeling or how we're responsible for the other person's happiness, angers, frustrations. I'm like, that is so crazy thinking now. Today, I think about it. It is insane to be like, to be like, my spouse, my loved one pissed me off or hurt my feelings. I don't
Or
get that.
I have to walk on eggshells so I don't hurt their feelings. Like either way, you're not happy ultimately, right? Like either way, you're not going to get happy doing that stuff because you're in here, right?
Yeah, and we give our power to other people.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving our power to circumstances, to people, to organizations. We're giving our power over in a thought process, in a feeling, in an emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. And the upper model is creating your own inner peace, like with using resources. Don't try to be at peace. Don't try to be happy, but use those happy feelings, use the happy images, use the happy smells, use those things that your brain will automatically flood your body with happy chemicals. And you'll be like, oh, that feels good. I'm happy. I'm happy. And from that point of view, hold yourself up to that expectation that no matter what happens, I can be happy or I can be in peace. And being so devoted to that inner peace and to your own health and your own inner love for your own body that you're experiencing life through, that you don't notice those things, like those things actually you stop noticing them, but also that you're like, this is not going to allow any of this outside. I'm not going to change it into blame so that it takes away my inner peace, because blame is the opposite, right?
Right.
Blame, shame, guilt, anger. Those are the opposite of what you want to be creating inside of yourself.
Yeah. So the upper model of the world is where we take complete ownership and responsibility for how we're seeing things, our perspective.
Yep.
And our meaning that we're giving that situation, that person, that individual. So we're basically taking our power back. The upper model of the world is you taking your power back and you deciding how you're going to see that. So you have choice. You can choose to see that as I'm the victim or I'm the victor, or that's just something that I no longer want and I want to change it, transform it. But it's taking responsibility. I think that is, how empowering is that, to be like, I am responsible for how I'm feeling, how I'm seeing this situation, my spouse, my children, my emotions. Even, look, we're human. We're going to have emotions. It's okay. Have them in 90 seconds and be done.
Right.
Like, it's not wrong having them. There's nothing wrong with having anger, sadness, guilt, shame, but is it serving you? Yes or no? Do you want more of that? Yes or no? And then choose, and then shift your perspective.
The way it opens up your choice is really what it's all about. And knowing what to do to bring yourself back to that homeostasis of who you are authentically, right? So we've all had experiences where something happens and we want to blame someone, and it could be, they really were rude or they really are terrible or whatever. But for us to see it and we're not experiencing it right now, then let it go, stop doing it inside of our own head and bring ourselves back to, oh, right, I want to feel this instead. And instantly being able to direct our brain to go there instead. Stop obsessing over what happened 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, or a lifetime ago.
Yep. And as brain trainers, we know that there's a memory that you've had or an image you have about yourself that either you deserve this or there's some sort of self-image that you have about yourself as to why this perspective, why it hurt your feelings, why you felt rejected, why you felt abandoned. So as brain trainers, we go in there, we find those memories, we find how you're doing it inside your, you're either hearing an old parent or you're seeing, an image of yourself, or you're feeling a sensation of it's somewhere held in your body. and where we can release it and we can rewire and rewrite that story so you can start living from the upper model of the world.
Exactly. And it's so powerful that your brain will do it for you. You don't have to try, you don't have to work at it. You just have to do these steps, and you will notice it different. And when that happens, then you've freed yourself up to have a different response when it happens today, tomorrow, or in your future. And that's the upper level thinking.
Yeah. So what happens if you want to work in the upper model of the world and you realize something and you're like, okay, this happened. I feel however you feel. What do? You stop, you smile, you take your focus off of it.
Yep.
Right? You
your
start
feeling.
tapping.
You have to admit that it's your feeling. Okay.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yep. Take some deep breaths, some oxygen, be playful, persistent, peaceful, and you keep breaking that trance until that starts dissipating. You will notice the changes. You will notice the shifts. You will notice things will change inside you. Images will start changing, dissolving, feeling sensation starts coming down. You're like at a 10 of I'm sad, mad, angry. It starts coming down to a 1, to a 0. Rewrite it. What would you rather feel? What would you rather have? Go to happy memories. Do fun stuff for yourself. Shift your brain. It's yours. You own it.
It is right here. Preach it. Yes. And that's the thing is, if you can imagine it bad or the way that you think it happened, you can imagine it. Use your own imagination. This precious gem of equipment sitting on top of your neck, right? Use it for imagining something wonderful so that you can feel good. You can move into treating people good. And you know that if you're being in inner peace, then everything else changes. Okay. It changes your perspective and what you're focusing on, what you're looking for. Okay. Awesome. Yep. Great. We hope that gives you great value. We'd love to have you join our group. Like this video, subscribe, click on the notification so you know when we're going live every day, and also share it with your friends. They will appreciate it.